So the year is 2026 and we have just about everything Grandpa said we'd have by now. Flying cars, flying people, flat screen TVs, virtual reality, robot dogs with flamethrowers. Yet it would seem that, at least in the gaming industry, we've hit a barrier of innovation. With the promise of 8K and a cajillion frames per second, the textbook indicator of technological advancement for the average consumer. The word next gen gets thrown around a lot. However, we've yet to see much of anything, technologically speaking, that has leapt us forward into a place where we're seeing anything new from game developers. Consoles and games of the past were about upping the fun value as much as they were about the technical achievement. Now the only thing going up is the price, and they haven't really given us a reason why. I'm a little too young to appreciate the impact of the N64 or the 16-bit war, but I do recall how significant motion control was and how it dominated the market for some period of time. Although it had its issues, the idea of motion control was new and engaging. Unfortunate also to be experiencing the advancement of VR, but admittedly guys, it doesn't seem to have the staying power of the competition between console generations. But to be honest, a true next-gen experience is more than a selling gimmick. It takes innovative thinking, timing, and momentum within the industry. True, innovation is diluted by corporate entities that are genuinely scared of anything new. Our founding fathers, Ralph Baer, creator of modern gaming technology, Shigeru Miyamoto, the creative force behind Mario 64, Gabe Newell with Half-Life, John Carmack, Doom's creative director, and Hideo Kojima with Metal Gear Solid, institutionalized gaming by breaking the mold and paving new paths for the industry. It's easy to see why technical advancement is closely associated with next-gen experiences, which in part they should be. However, technical feats should work hand-in-hand with storytelling. Hello, gaming industry. Next-gen graphics do not contribute to storytelling. Neither does AI. These are tools. Many forget that video games are artwork. Art requires vision, often from a singular source, not a committee of eggheads. By vision, I don't mean how pretty it is. Without vision or creative innovation, games are nothing more than software demos. Guardians of the Galaxy on the PS4 was a heavily slept-on title. There's at least a dozen games I could reference that marry technology and vision, but I chose this game because it was one of my personal favorites. I'll be honest, Marvel had aged like mother's milk at this point. The Avengers game was reportedly crap. I didn't play it, but apparently it left a bad taste in people's mouth. It's a shame too, because Guardians of the Galaxy outdid itself with creativity and fun factor. It kind of reminded me of Jak and Daxter, where the gameplay is functional, and by that I mean it involves your reaction in creative ways involving your hardware. For example, PlanetSide, you may hear your crew on the Milano speaking to you through the radio. The developers cleverly added this radio chatter coming through the controller. This was by no means necessary, but it was a subtle addition that promoted immersion and made the characters come to life. They also found ways to keep the player engaged by integrating choice and mechanics that drive the story along. You know, it's all about balance. I think, to be honest, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly Cooper leaned a little bit too much on hardware integration, making some segments unplayable if you didn't have the original DualShock controller with the gyroscope. Then, of course, there's the dreaded QuickTime event, the extreme of player immersion where you're doing less and more at the same time. Some games can pull it off, like The Walking Dead, for example. Others...
I know who the killer is, Ethan.
What I'm getting at is that good games, some of the greats, keep the player engaged with a variety of immersive elements, which may or may not be the hardware. However, and you guys are going to hate me for this, gimmicks do make sales. Hear me out. Guitar Hero, gimmick. Kinect motion capture, gimmick. Nintendo 3DS, arguably a gimmick. VR, I'm gonna have to say it's a gimmick. The difference with these examples is that they are hardware that sells games, not games that sell hardware. I hate to say it, but we need gimmicks again. Gaming hardware today does nothing to improve on originality or immersion. There's no reason to buy it, nothing that stands out, no pizzazz or unique feature. Graphics and frame rate don't equate to fun factor, and that's a factor modern consoles are lacking in sorely. What would you have expected to see in modern gaming technology? Let me know in the comments below. As for me, I've been CubeStick, and I'll see you online. What do you say? Are you game?